I have not filmed from this angle in a while because nothing has been auspicious enough to get me on the floor. It's like, it's just, I mean, she ain't 20. So no. Just that what I've got today is, it's just going to be easier if I do it from here. So oh wait, I didn't even do my little introduction, did I? Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. I am expanding my nerdiness beyond today. Like, I'm going way out there with my nerdiness today. So I am in the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronism. I've explained it a lot. Go look it up. And my little beret's coming off. I don't need a hat. It's cute. In November, December of 2024, my kingdom had its arts and sciences symposium, and people in the arts and sciences, there is fighting, but it was mostly rapier fighting, so I wasn't much interested because I do heavy combat. But there are classes and stuff you can take. People bring things they've created via arts and sciences to display and be judged and admired. Some people do woodworking. Some people can make clothing. Some people brew. Just all kinds of stuff. I wish I could enumerate the amount of things. And you can also take classes. So there are classes on how to sew certain garments. There are classes on fighting, using different styles and stuff. There are classes. What were some of the other classes that were there? I can tell you about the one I took. I took a class on brewing. I was really excited about it. It ended up being a 4-part class, which meant it took the entire day for me to do that class. Hashtag worth it. Worth it. Because I came away from that day understanding the basics of brewing, what I might want to brew first, and they surprised me with something. They gave me my own brewing kit. Like, no, seriously. I'm going to turn my camera. Turn. Come toward me. Okay, so what they ended up doing was the class that I took, it was 4 sessions. And each one was like 90 minutes long. And it was a condensed version of an 8-hour class in learning the basics of brewing, and like got lots of instructions. I have tons of notes. This is not an instructional video, by the way. I'm not giving you instructions. But I decided that I'm going to embark on a new hobby, because remember, we are a well-rounded nerd. We don't silo ourselves into one type of nerdity on this channel. There are many, many types of nerds. And I'm going to be a brewing nerd now. I know, right? I'm not giving you instructions. But in going through the class, it was really cool because the person who taught the class was an actual brewmaster. I know. So I got the deets on everything I was going to need. So I've been out collecting things and ingredients. But first, with what this I bought. But here is what was gifted to me initially. Blah. There's so much stuff in here. Everything I needed, I just kept throwing in here because where else was it going to go? I've been to the thrift store. I've done all kinds of stuff. Okay, so here is what was gifted to me. First and foremost, these are food grade fermentation buckets. And you'll see there's a, like, where is it? It's on this side. See, there's a little hole where you put the nozzle. So obviously I'm going to have to wash these. And I was recommended a very particular disinfectant called Star San for sanitizing once I clean them. Apparently the biggest thing when you're brewing, fermenting, all of that is keeping everything sanitized. So having received this, I decided that anything I was going to use for my brew kit, I was going to do separate from anything I use regular cooking for, because I am going to sanitize and all that kind of stuff, but it just to help me know that that's what it's for. But with this, not only did he give me 2 of these, there's 2 of them, I know. He also gifted me the sugar gauge. So you stick this down in there and it lets you know the sugar content of what you're creating. And also I've got my spouts and my hoses for when I really get into fermentation and need to draw out some to understand, like, does it taste okay? All that good stuff. So plugs for it. So that was a good start, because I was sitting there making a list of stuff I was going to need. And they also gave me a siphon. Yee. So I can, siphon out, something to taste. So they gave me a really good start. So what I decided, this I purchased, but the rest is given. I got to put it back in here as I talk about it. But one of the things they advised me of was when you're starting your process, you always got to start with good ingredients. Good ingredients equal better food. Like some people ask me, like, why does your food taste this way and mine doesn't? I'll be honest, the ingredients, it matters where you source your raw products from. Now, granted, the sourcing of products is going to be dependent on one's budget and what's available in your area. So no judgment, no tea, no shade. But they said for what you want to brew, and I've decided to go with mead first, and probably this summer, I might attempt a beer of some kind. But I'm going to start with mead. Mead takes good 6-8 months to a year to make. The first ferment's a good 28 to 35 days. So mead is honey wine, basically. And they said, go get good honey. So I did. From the honey man, I went to the honey man. So there's actually a really awesome honey farm out, well, not where we live. It's in a whole, like 2 counties away. But his honey is good. So I went to go get the real deal. And I've got some friends back in Nashville. If you're watching, hey, who I might try to get some honey from if their crop produces next year, because they have really good honey too. But I've decided, since I've got 2 of these, I'm going to experiment. One of these I'm going to do with water, as the other liquid that goes in, and the other one is going to be done with apple cider. And there is an orchard not far from us too. Where'd my husband move me? I went from the city to the country. Speaking of, and I'm going to talk about, it's apple juice. It's always apple juice. So went and got 4. I got 4 of these. Actually, you know what? The day that I went to buy this, I was so mad. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff that day. I had one more stop to make, and I opened up my truck, and I hadn't put these securely in there. One of them rolled out in my truck and fell on the ground, and I had to run back to the honey man and get another one. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was crestfallen. Those things are $25 a jar. Worth every penny. I felt like an idiot. So then I had to start collecting things. So stuff started coming in. What was other stuff I was going to need? So this is a Brewer's Elite Triple Scale Hydrometer set. I ordered this. I'm not an elite brewer. I'm a whole novice because I needed another hobby. The reason I know I can do this one is because for a few moments, it's a very active hobby, and then it's real passive. Like, you set it and forget it. It's on that Rump Appeal time. Y'all know y'all watch them infomercials at 2 a.m. when there was nothing else on the TV. Okay, so with this, this is helping me measure basically the alcohol content of whatever I ferment, because you don't want to make gasoline. The point of brewing is not to make the most potent product. It's to make a good product. So that's going to be my intent. That's another reason I'm doing 2. And they said, as I get, good at things, like when do you add spices and things like that. Like, he gave me so much instruction, and plus access to people who know what they're doing in my local area so that I can have guides along the way. He also recommended this yeast. It's called Quebec. It's a Quebec fermenting yeast. So I've got that specific yeast, which that's nothing really to look at. But the other thing that was recommended was stainless steel everything. So I have measuring spoons and cups, obviously, but these are going to be dedicated just to my brewing escapades, because I just don't want to mix them up with everything else. I'll always have it. And he said, remember, you spray everything, so I'll wash it, but before I dip it in something or measure, sanitize. So I'll make up a bottle of sanitizer from that solution, and everything gets sanitized before it touches my brew. So this also came. So once it gets to the second ferment and I separate it out into glass jugs, I'm going to need a way to burp it and to be able to sample and all that. That's what these are. So these rubber corks and stoppers, get it in there, let me get the gas out, and then I can, because as it's fermenting, what ferment is. It's yeast farting. That was uncouth. But that's what it is. The yeast is eating the sugar and going... That's what's happening. So as that's happening, gas has to come out and keep your thing from exploding. So I have that for 5, but I'm only going to be doing 4 gallon glass jugs to begin with. And gallon glass jugs are easy to come by. You can get them at the thrift store. We actually have a bunch of them from a tea shop in town that just keep ending up at my house. And if they're in my house, they're my property. They're mine now. They're going to be for mead. But I also went to the thrift store and just did some thrifting. I do thrift once in a while. Everything doesn't have to be brand new. I tried to get everything at the thrift store, but couldn't find it. But stuff just for this endeavor. So a whisk that is stainless steel. Take the little price tag off. Like this was only like 45 cents, you know. So I got myself a whisk. Obviously, dealing with yeast and stuff, you're going to need a strainer. Stuck to my fingers. Trash. All right, so bowls and stuff that I was going to need. Went and got those. And see all that, I got to clean it all really thoroughly because anything that's going to touch my product has to be super clean. And then when I'm pulling out for tasting and stuff like that, got to have a ladle, stainless steel. And then I had found some measuring spoons that were stainless steel, but they weren't a whole set. But they were also 50 cents. So I have them anyway, and these are probably going to be used in my house now. And then a measuring cup just for this. Glass is easy to keep sanitary. So all that's now going to live in here. And the last thing I needed was this guy to get a pot. I went to 15 thrift stores trying to find a stainless steel pot. Everybody everywhere bought them. Stinking holidays. So I ended up having to order one. I tried to find it secondhand, could not. But that's okay. It's brand new, and it will do exactly what I need it to do. So this is my new hobby. Did I need another hobby? No. But it's too late now. I bought $100, well, $125 worth of honey. I've got to do something with it. Now, I have been told there are some store brand honeys that you can use. I don't know what those are because we all know the deal with some stuff in the store. Sometimes it's what they say it is. Sometimes it's what the law says they can say it is. So those end up being two different things. But, you know, the fun of being a well-rounded nerd is just exploring other things to do. This is not something I have to do. Nobody's making me brew. Although my husband says if I'm successful at my beer brewing, he has promised me a kegerator. Because I need one more thing. But I'm a while from trying to make beer. But it's fun. You know, don't silo yourself into only liking one thing. You know how big and wide and glorious the world is out there? There is so much to learn, love, and enjoy. So get out there and find the things. And if you have a hard time figuring that out on your own, join the SCA. They'll get you introduced to a whole bunch of really cool stuff. You can learn to sword fight. It's a good time. I enjoy it. But I'm not going to belabor this video anymore because I've done a lot of recording back to back, and now I want to go paint with my husband. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.